TYBSc Electronic Science, and we are dealing with the paper number 6, that is Industrial Automation. So what we are going to see today is an instrumentation amplifier. So maybe in your instrumentation paper or in some case of operational amplifier circuitry, you have seen this particular circuit. So what is this? So if you look in the circuit diagram here, this is a 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier. So this is the symbol of operational amplifier, where the plus sign indicate this is non-inverting terminal, while negative sign, the minus, that indicate this is the inverting amplifiers, or we can say inverting input. Similarly, we have here a positive that is called non-inverting, and this negative is called inverting terminal. And finally, we have the third operational amplifier that has R2, R3. These are the resistors R2, R3. You can name any if you want. By looking this circuit, you can see that this particular input V1 is connected to the non-inverting terminal of this particular first operational amplifier, and the inverting terminal is directly connected to the R1 and again to the output. So if you talk about this particular circuit, the input is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and there is a feedback, and that having only R1 resistor. If you see the formula for this particular what we call as an inverting amplifier, it has a gain is equal to 1. Why? Because the R1 is only present, we can say it as RF, and the Rin is absent. So we have 1 plus Rf upon R1 is the formula for the non-inverting amplifier. So if we have absent, or we can say 0 Rin, so we have the operational amplifier gain is equal to 1. So the gain is equal to 1 means we can call it as a buffer amplifier. Whatsoever the input it is provided at the V1, that will be available at the output. But this is a different buffer amplifier. I am going to explain how this is different, because we have R gain, that is the next resistor, the third resistor in this divider network, that will modify this buffer amplifier into an instrumentation amplifier. Similarly, at the bottom side, there is another one operational amplifier. V2 is the voltage that is connected to again the non-inverting terminal, or we can say positive terminal. Kept in mind that the V1 and V2, these are connected to the non-inverting terminal. So there, though we have started with the positive on upper side, negative, then negative and positive. So kept in mind, many students makes fault at that point where they place positive, negative, again they place positive, negative. That becomes a false instrumentation amplifier. So what we have in here again, the inverting, what we call non-inverting amplifier with the gain of 1. R1 is there, means the RF is there, but Rin is absent, and it is connected in a such a way that there is a R gain resistor that is called as a gain resistor. Why it is called as a gain resistor, and so we will see it. The next operational amplifier, if you see it, there are 4 resistors. So if you know the circuit diagram of subtractor circuit diagram is same like this particular third operational amplifier. So we can say it as a difference amplifier. It will take the difference that comes from the first operational amplifier and the second operational amplifier with the gain of R3 upon R2. So the feedback resistor is R3 and the input resistor is R2. So R3 upon R2, it will leads to the difference amplifier. So we are going to see how this particular what we call instrumentation amplifier, how its gain to be calculated. The first stage gain, where there are 2 operational amplifier, and the second stage gain where we have difference amplifier. I have already told you that the difference amplifier has a gain of R3 upon R2. We have to find out the gain of the first stage of this instrumentation amplifier, and finally if we have 2 stages, we have to multiply that gain, and finally we will have a gain. Means the V out will be the final gain into V1 minus V2. Because of we have difference amplifier, there will be V1 minus V2. So this particular instrumentation amplifier circuit diagram I have explained in here. We have to go detail for studying each and every component, and how to identify or how to calculate the gain of first and the second stage. So you can see the instrumentation amplifier, and instrumentation amplifier is also called as instrumentational amplifier. In shorthanded, or we can say in a shortcut, we can call it as a in hyphen amp or in amp. So it is a type of differential amplifier. So I've already told you that the final stage is the difference amplifier. So it is a type of difference amplifier. Finally, we are getting V out, that will be equal to gain multiplied by V1 minus V2. So we can say it as the gain is there, but we have a difference amplifier. So it has been outfitted with the input buffer amplifier. So we have the input buffer amplifier that are connected. So we have finally a difference amplifier. So why these are connected? So input buffer amplifier, so which will eliminate the need for input impedance matching. So whatsoever the input coming from, maybe any sensors, any circuit, wherever it is coming from, it is going to eliminate the need for the input impedance. Means what? If the input impedance of the circuit is very high, we can connect anything to the circuit, as according to the operational amplifiers uh, characteristic. The input impedance of operational amplifier is very high. We can say ideally it should be infinity, means anything can be connected to that particular operational amplifier. So in this case, because of we having a buffer amplifier, so this buffer amplifier will eliminate the need for input impedance matching. So thus it will make the amplifier particularly suitable for use in measurement and test equipment. So anything, we can say this instrumentation amplifier is a test equipment. So anything can be connected to the test circuit, like the what we call as a digital multimeter. So whatever the voltage, we are going to touch it and we are going to measure it in any circuit. So that is nothing but the input of that DMM, it is input impedance matched. Likewise, this instrumentation amplifier is input impedance match using the buffer amplifier, so that it will eliminate the need for the input impedance matching concept. So anything can be connected to this particular instrumentation amplifier. So that's why it is particularly used for the measurement, or it is used for the test equipment. So which kind of measurement we can do? As we can see, V1 and V2, there are two inputs. But if you see the sensors gives us a one output. So why we require two inputs? So this particular instrumentation amplifier is used whenever we have two outputs from the sensors. Likewise, if you know a sensor called as thermistor. So thermistor is nothing but a thermally sensitive resistor. That resistor has two like outputs at one end and the other end, so that both end should be connected. One end should be connected at V1 and the other end should be connected at V2. Or we can say we can have this particular thermistor is connected in a Wheatstone's bridge network. We are going to see that Wheatstone's bridge network later on. The output of the Wheatstone's bridge network will be two sides. One is called the upper one and another one is called a lower one, that both can be connected to one at V1 and one at V2, and finally we'll have a V out. So we are going to see what is the spatial in instrumentation amplifier. So what are the characteristics of the operational, we can say, the instrumentation amplifier? So it has a very low DC offset, means the DC change is very low. It has very low drift. It has very low noise, very high open loop gain, very high common mode rejection ratio, and very high input impedances, as it is similar to the operational amplifiers characteristics. So this is used where great accuracy and stability of the circuit, both short and long terms, are required. So instrumentation amplifier are used wherever we need to measure, and it will be for the long term period. This electronic instrumentation amplifier, why it is called as electronic instrumentation amplifier, is this is dealing all things in electronics. So it is almost internally composed of three op amps. So they are arranged so that there is one op amp to buffer each input plus and minus, and the one to produce the desired output with adequate impedance matching for the function. So we can have only one input to the instrumentation amplifier by connecting the other to the zero, or vice versa. We can have both the inputs at that same time. An instrumentation amplifier that will allow us to adjust the gain of the amplifier circuit without having to change more than one resistor value. So you can see that there are three resistors, R1, R2, and there is R gain. So using that R gain only, we can change the what we call as a gain of this particular circuit. So these are all externally connected resistor. So gain of the amplifier can be easily changed. So how it is to be changed, we are going to see in detail. So the so-called instrumentation amplifier build on the last version of the differential amplifier. So it gives that capability. So this is the last version of the differential amplifier. So look at the circuit over here. We have V1 is the input from one end of the sensor, and the V2 is the input from the other end. Kept in mind that it is always connected to the non-inverting terminal, and here the inverting terminal is connected to the feedback that is comes from the output. So you can see here again the below instrumentation operational amplifier is connected to the uh, 2 number, while this particular is connected to the 1 number. So you can see in between 3 and 1 there is a resistor R, in between 2 and 4 there is a resistor R, and in between 1 and 2 this is R again. For the what we call for the similar simple reason purpose, we can put the value of this R3 R2 that we have mentioned, it is said to be R, so that these are all R are fixed, they are not going to get changed. The changing quantity will be R again. So we can have the changing quantity in here, or we can have a potentiometer so that we can change the value of this R again whatsoever we require. So this is the circuit of the instrumentation amplifier. All the resistors are, we can say, the equal value. Only the resistor that is changing is the R gain. So we are going to see how this resistors R gain will change the operational, or we can say, instrumentation amplifier's gain. Then why we have negative feedback? So negative feedback of the upper left op amp, that is causes the voltage at the point 1 top of R gain to be equal to V1. So why it is so? It is due to the concept of the virtual earth. So whatsoever the input present at the non-inverting terminal, that will be available at the inverting terminal. So that's why V1 that will be available at point 1. Similarly, if we go to the bottom operational amplifier, the negative feedback of the upper lower is also connected to the bottom of the R gain. So it is to be a value that is called as a V2. So what we have at 1, we have V1 because of the virtual earth concept, and at 2 we have V2. So what is in there? So we have V1 at 1, V2 at 2, means there is a voltage drop across R gain. So that voltage drop is nothing but the difference between V1 and V2. So at 1 we have V1, at 2 we have V2 because of the virtual earth concept. So again will have a potential difference of V1 and V2. The potential drop, as we know, the potential drop is there means there is a current. Current is always flowing from the high potential to the low potential. So what we'll have a current. So since the feedback loops of the two input op amps draw no current, you can see that as you know, the current is not entering to the non-inverting as well as the inverting terminal of the operational amplifier. So that's why we can say the current that is entering into the operational amplifier that are nil. That's why the input impedance is infinity. Because of the current zero, input impedance is the infinity. So we can say that the current is not flowing from 1 towards the inverting terminal or from 2 towards the inverting terminal of the upper and lower operational amplifier. So current is taking path from where this current will flow. This current will flow from 3 resistance R, 1 R gain, 2 resistance R, and 4. If the V2 is greater, what will happen? It will started from 4, it will goes towards the 3. So depending upon which input is higher and which input is lower, we'll have this particular concept. So the voltage drop between point 3 and point 4, if we calculate it, it will be V2 minus V1, that is the voltage, that is the difference of the voltage, and we'll have finally 1 plus 2R upon R gain. So this will be the formula of the gain. You can see in here 1 plus 2R upon R gain. This is the formula for this particular stage where we are measuring the voltage in between 3 and 4. So we are going to see what will be the formula, how to derive it in next part. So for working of an instrumentation amplifier, I have referred this figure from Electronics Hub. You can see here we have V1, it is connected to the first operational amplifier's non-inverting terminal. We have V2, it is connected to the second operational amplifier's non-inverting terminal. The inverting terminal is connected to this particular part. Again, the inverting terminal is connected to the R gain stop part. So as I have mentioned that the current is not entering into the terminal of the input terminal of the operational amplifier. So current will start it flowing from 3 to 4 or 4 to 3. Then the next part is the difference amplifier. The difference amplifier has a gain of R3 upon R2, as R3 is the feedback resistor and R2 is the input resistor. So R3 they are same, and R2 this is the input resistor. So what is the output stage of an instrumentation amplifier? So instrumentation amplifier's output stage is nothing but uh, the VO1 minus VO2. So where is VO1? So VO1 will be here at the third, what we call the first operational amplifier's output due to the V1, and VO2 is the second operational amplifier's output due to V2, and we finally have R3 upon R2. This is the gain of the difference amplifier inside bracket VO1 minus VO2. So we are going to find out what is VO1 and what is VO2, the output of the difference amplifier. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whatsoever I am teaching you, are you understanding it? Means, is it okay to go with that particular speed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the output stage of the instrumentation amplifier is the difference amplifier. So the output of the difference amplifier will be VO1 minus VO2. So I have already told you that VO1 is the output of the first operational amplifier, and this is due to V1, and VO2 will be the output of the second operational amplifier. This is due to V2. The gain of this particular what we call as a difference amplifier is R3 divided by R2. So finally, what we'll have, V out is equal to R3 upon R2 inside bracket VO1 minus VO2, because of the the instrumentation amplifier's third operation amplifier is a difference amplifier. So the input to the VO1 is V1 and input to the VO2 is V2. We have to find out the values of VO1 and VO2. So how to find it out? So for that purpose, here, look at here, the first stage of the instrumentation amplifier, where the first operation amplifier, the upper one, and the lower operational amplifier is taken, where V1 is connected. The name is given to that particular point is A. The next point is B, that is the inverting terminal. You can see the output of that particular operational amplifier having input V1 is VO1. We are saying it as E. Then the resistor R1 is there, is a feedback resistor. there is a point that named as G, that is above R gain. Below R gain, we have a point H, and point C is to the inverting terminal. The output VO2 is considered to be as a point F, and the V2 is point to be a D. So don't get confused with this point. Let's look at here. The input is V1 connected to non-inverting terminal. Input is V2 connected to non-inverting terminal. This is a buffer amplifier. So whatsoever at the V2, it will be, means whatsoever at D, it will be available at C. Whatsoever at A, it will be available at B. Means B and G, they are same. C and H, they are same. So they are taken only for the case where the current is flowing from E to F. So that current will not flow from G to B or H to C. That's why we have two points for the same, what we call as a same location. Now the expression for VO1, here the VO1 is the output of the first instrumentation amplifier due to V1. The expression we have to calculate for VO1, and as well we have to calculate the expression for the VO2, where the input is V2 for the lower operational amplifier. So these all will be available with the help of current, with the help of resistances, with the help of voltages. So if we consider the input stage of the operational amplifier, this is the first stage, or we can say input stage of the operational amplifier. So node A, the potential at node A will be the point voltage V1. As I've already told you that due to the virtual short concept or virtual earth concept, A's voltage will be available at B. So B is also V1. By that case, G is also V1. Then similarly, at point D, the voltage is V2. According to the virtual short virtual earth concept, the point C or node C is also a V2. And similarly, the H point is also V2. So now you have understand the VO1 is the output, G is V1, H is V2, and F is again a VO2. So we have voltages now, and we have resistances. The current is flowing from E to F. We have to find out the value of VO1 and VO2. So ideally, if you take the current of the input stage of the op-amp, so if we take the current entering to the inverting non-inverting terminal of the operational amplifier will be 0. So therefore the current that is flowing resistor R1, R gain and R1 only. So it will available with the starting from VO1 and it will end on VO2. It will goes through R1, R gain and R1. So applying the Ohm's law in between them, because Ohm's law requires only the current and voltages and resistances. If we apply the Ohm's law in between E and F, what is the Ohm's law? Ohm's law tells us that the potential difference. So potential difference is nothing but VO1 minus VO2. This is the potential difference between these 2 points. And the resistor available in that point is a R1 plus R gain plus R1. So we can see the voltage divided by resistance is equal to current. V is equal to IR. I is nothing but V upon R. So V is called VO1 minus VO2 as the potential difference is there, divided by total resistance in the circuit. They are all in series, so they get added together, R1 plus R gain plus R1. So finally what we have, 2R1 plus R gain. This will be the current. Since no current is flowing to the input of the operational amplifier 1 and 2, the current I between the node G and H can be given as. So as we have said, there is no current flowing from C to inverting terminal, D to non-inverting terminal, B to inverting terminal, and A to non-inverting terminal. So the voltage at B is nothing but V1 at A. It is also available at G. The voltage at D, V2, available at C, V2, as well as available at H is equal to V2. So we have totally calculated the current that is flowing from E to F. Now we are going to calculate the current in resistor R gain. So what it will be? So it is nothing but the potential difference between G and H. So what is the potential difference between G and H? Vg minus Vh. So the Vg is nothing but V1 due to the virtual earth concept. The A point will be available at B and it will be available at G. So Vg is V1. Similarly, the H, the Vh, that will also equal to V2. So what will have the current that is flowing through this particular R gain, it is equal to V1 minus V2 divided by R gain. So this is a second what we call as a equation. The first equation is the total what we call in between VO1 and VO2 is equal to I is equal to VO1 minus VO2 inside bracket divided by 2R1 plus R gain. While in case of this only R gain is equal to I is equal to V1 minus V2 divided by R gain. So these are the current that is flowing in between E and F and G and H. Now, if we equate the equation, as you know, the current that is flowing from E to G to H to F, there is no branch, only a single branch is there because current is not flowing from H to C or G to B. So that's why the current in a single branch is always equal. So the current in equation 1, VO1 minus VO2 divided by R1 plus R gain plus R1, that is 2 times R1 plus R gain, that is equal to V1 minus V2 divided by R gain. So the current that is flowing through R1, current that is flowing through R gain, and current that is flowing through R1 will be same. So we can equate these two equations. So finally, equating the equation 1 and 2, what we will have? VO1 minus VO2 divided by 2 times R1 plus R gain equal to V1 minus V2 divided by R gain. So similarly, if we place VO1 and VO2 together, because what we have seen is that what we required is a VO1 minus VO2. So finally, we'll have a VO1 minus VO2 is equal to what we are going to do. The denominator thing goes into the numerator of this side, 2 times R1 plus R gain divided by multiplied by V1 minus V2 divided by R gain. So this is the equation number 3. And finally, what we are going to do, the output of the difference amplifier is R3 upon R2 into VO1 minus VO2. So we are going to put the value of VO1 minus VO2. So what we will have, VO1 minus VO2 is equal to R2 divided by R3 into Vout. So we can calculate in both way by putting the value of VO1 minus VO2 into the equation of Vout, or we can calculate the VO1 minus VO2 separately, and we are going to equate these two equations, equation number 3 and this the equation of the Vout. So substitute VO1 VO2 in equation 3, what we get, R2 upon R3 into Vout is equal to 2 times R1 plus R gain into V1 minus V2 divided by R gain. It is a simple mathematical concept. You can see the Vout to be calculated as R3 divided by R2. It is going into this side. So it becomes R3 divided by R2. Inside bracket, 2 times R1 plus R gain divided by R gain into V1 minus V2. So finally, what we are getting the gain formula as Vout is equal to gain into V1 minus V2. So V1 minus V2 will be the input, and the gain will be R3 divided by R2 inside bracket 2 times R1 plus R gain divided by R gain. So this above equation that gives the output voltage of an instrumentation amplifier, and the overall gain of the amplifier is given by this circuit, R3 divided by R2 inside bracket 2 times R1 plus R gain divided by R gain. So in this particular circuit, or we can say the resistors values, you can see the gain of this particular circuit is depending upon the resistor values. While the R3, R2 and R1, these are the fixed resistor. We can say R3, R2, R3, R2, they are same, and R1, these are same. So what we can have, R gain, it is a variable resistor, and by having a variable resistor, we can change the gain of the instrumentation amplifier. So what is the important concept from this particular unit chapter is that the overall voltage gain of an instrumentation amplifier can be controlled by adjusting the value of resistor R gain. So simply by varying the value of R gain, by connecting pot over there, we can change the gain of an instrumentation amplifier. The common mode signal, so if the common mode signal persists from the first stage of the instrumentation amplifier, and it is going to give to the difference amplifier, and difference amplifier will reject all the common mode signal, only the difference signal will be available at the output of the instrumentation amplifier. What are the advantage of the instrumentation amplifier? So first and the most advantage is that the gain, it can be easily varied by controlling the adjustment of the value of R gain. So without changing the circuit structure, just changing the value of R gain, we can change the value of the gain. The gain of the amplifier depends only on the external resistors. Hence, it is easy to set the gain accurately by choosing the accurate value of the resistors. The input impedance of the instrumentation amplifier is dependent on the non-inverting amplifier circuit in the input stage. The input impedance of non-inverting amplifier is very high. The output impedance of the instrumentation amplifier is the output of the difference amplifier, and which is very low. The CMRR of the 3 op-amp instrumentation amplifier is very high. So these are all the characteristics. So all the common mode signal can be or will be rejected. What are the application of the instrumentation amplifier? So instrumentation amplifier along with the transducer bridge, this is very important, along with the transducer bridge can be used in a wide variety of application. So these applications are generally known as data acquisition system. So if we have like space shift, and from that space shift we have to monitor different parameters like temperature, pressure, the inner temperature of the space shift, the atmospheric pressure, atmospheric temperature. So they are all can be connected together, and it will be given by this input to the instrumentation amplifier. So one by one it can take all these inputs and it will be stored in a data acquisition systems. So at the input stage, there is a transducer device that will convert the change in the physical quantity to an electrical quantity. So this electrical signal can be fed to an instrumentation amplifier. So finally, it can like measure or test equipment, measure the values of the what we call atmospheric physical quantities, atmospheric pressure and so on. So amplified signal is then fed to the display devices, which is to be calibrated to detect the change in the quantity that is being measured. So this is the use of the instrumentation amplifier or application of an instrumentation amplifier. So thank you for continuous listening this particular lecture of the instrumentation amplifier. Thank you. If you have any queries, you can ask me regarding this particular topic.